What's up, beautiful people? We are back and we are recapping season 10 of The Real Housewives of Potomac. Well, this season, Kiera and Wendy are having a little disagreement with Wendy's dismissive behavior, which she's been accused of many a times. Guess who's back? Monique Samuels, and Giselle says she was happy to reconnect with Monique and see if she's still the same person. And of course, the queen herself, the Grand Dame, has finally been released from jail and will have her season 10 premiere on The Real Housewives of Potomac. So listen, join me and Chronicles of the Gray Haired Diva as we recap this season of The Real Housewives of Potomac. And it's all in good fun, so make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to both channels. See y'all soon.
You just gotta.
Good evening. How you doing?
Doing okay. Love it. Listen, happy Sunday. It's raining out here in Jersey. Is it raining for y'all?
It is raining here too. It's been raining all day long.
Yeah.
Literally, I've been like, I got out the bed like at 2:00. I text you. Well, you text me and you was like, "We're gonna do this show." I said, "I'm gonna get up. Let's do it." And here we are.
Well, not 2:00. You got out the bed. OMG. Listen, guys, don't forget, because it looked like Royaire froze. Let me know if you can hear me. Don't forget to hit the like button on both our channels. As in the promo that just was showed, we are back. We're going to be recapping all of the reality shows we watch because there's so many of them, right? So we're recapping The Real Housewives of Potomac. We're recapping the Braxtons, as you see today. And then when Atlanta comes back on, we will be recapping that. And we got so much to talk about. All right, it looks like you're back, Royaire.
Okay. I'm sorry if I'm staring in the camera looking stupid, y'all. I was like, what happened? Where did we go?
You froze for a minute, but it's all good. Mm-hmm.
It's the weather. It's got my Wi-Fi acting off. Bear with me. Yes, what were you saying though? I'm sorry.
Well, I just told them we're back. We're recapping all the shows that we watch, right? Because there's so many reality shows out there, and that's a nice promo you put together for us for a year. We're recapping The Real Housewives of Potomac. We're recapping the Braxtons. And as others come up, we'll let you know. We're going to be pretty busy, but we're recapping these shows, okay? Because the ones we recap, we happen to really love, and we're still into them. Some of them, I just lost interest, right? It's like, but it seems like, well, now we know for sure that Potomac is going to have a lot going on, okay? Now that Wendy Osefo with the 4 degrees and her husband that is a lawyer got arrested for fraud.
I'll save my comments for tomorrow for that.
And when they put a $50K bond on your head, good googly my. That's all I can say to that. Okay. But we could get into the Braxtons. I'm happy to I know this is just episode 1, season 2, but I'm glad they're back. I'm here for the people getting a paycheck for you. Right. And I'm glad they're back because sometimes, even when it is your family, because this is the sisters, even when it's your family, stuff can go on and go down. And I will have to say this, as of this moment and as of last season, they are doing Tracy no justice.
None.
Tracy is rolling over in her grave, asking God. Asking God what happened. Okay.
In the words of Cardi B, what was the reason? What was the reason? Okay.
They are not making her proud, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Well, just a little update from the first season. As we all know, the Braxton show was brought back in honor of Tracy. One of Tracy's passing wishes, and RIP to Tracy, love and support to the family. We still know that is a struggle, so we are still supporting you all from afar. But, one of Tracy's desires was for the sisters to come back together and to do the show and to be on one accord, have fun, laugh, original sisters that, you know, they all went out to be when we had the Braxtons family value originally, okay? And so, you know, unfortunately, Tracy passed away a couple years ago. If you guys are unfamiliar, maybe we got some first-time watchers. Tracy passed away, unfortunately. And so the sisters are now kind of picking up the pieces, you know, since Tracy has gone on, you know, and trying to figure out how to navigate their way as a sisterhood, now as a foursome instead of a fivesome. You know, they're used to the five girls being all together, and now we're in a situation where it's just the four now, and they're navigating this new relationship on how to be cohesive with one another and still, you know, be themselves, if you may. So last season, the girls, Tracy's death really, and you know, Diva, people always say death will either pull you apart or pull you closer together. And I think it pulled Tawanda and Trina together. They've always been pretty close, but I think Tony and Tamar really distanced themselves from the sisters. Last season, Tamar was a friend of, not a full-time castmate. So we're seeing in season 2, she's decided to be a full-time castmate. We had a lot of issues with get that money, honey. We had a lot of issues with Kevin Jr. You know, we followed a little bit of the journey of Kevin Jr. and what he had going on, him and his dad's relationship. It was a lot, okay, to say the least. So now here we are in season 2. And so this episode kind of started off, they did a fast forward and then they jump us back into how it all started off for everyone. So we fast forward up to the dinner that everybody's been seeing in the trailer, where the girls sat down, you know, to discuss, I guess, some of the family issues that have been going on throughout the past couple of weeks, okay? Because they take us back 3 weeks earlier as we start the episode. But fast 3 weeks, we have the sisters sitting at the table. Mama Evelyn is not there, which I think was a good thing, because I feel like sometimes the girls need to handle things just as sisters without mommy being involved. And, you know, there have been rumors, you know, floating around the streets that their niece, Ashley, was inappropriately mishandled by possibly one of the sisters' husbands in the group. The sisters, okay? And so that was kind of the topic of the conversation at the table. Tamar, you know, accused the sisters of not hearing her out when she had her situation. And so, you know, she accused Tony of saying we needed to bring Ashley on the show, and, you know, accused the sisters of sending a cease and desist to her podcast when Ashley showed up. It was an explosive beginning of the episode, okay? So like I said, people, they throw us back 3 weeks ago. And so 3 weeks ago, we start off with Ashley and Tamar having dinner together down at the restaurant, okay? Now, Tamar, you know, sets this meeting up at the beginning with the intentions of meeting with Ashley so that Ashley can feel supportive, so she feels that someone has her back, and that, you know, Tamar felt when she came out that nobody listened to her, nobody said anything. Nobody said anything, and you know,
hold on a second. Raheem, don't.
I'm not doing this with y'all. I'm not doing this.
Woo, Raheem cutting up out the gate. They did Tracy 32 seconds to put her on the ground. Well, that's facts, but we're gonna move forward. Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, we get to the meeting. And so, you know, they greet one another. Now, Ashley lives in Spain. She has not been into the States in the last 5 or 10 years, I believe, as she said. Okay. And so Tamar decided to fly Ashley into the States. Okay. So that they could have a conversation.
What a mess.
What a mess. A conversation.
For the scheme that Todd set up.
To come to the sisters with the bush. Okay? Because that's what it's giving. That's what it's giving. Okay? So, you know, she lives in Spain. Tamar flew her here to the States so that she can tell her story and that Ashley can feel supportive. Now, Tamar claims that she did not do this to expose the family. She didn't do this to harm the family. You know, she's claimed that she has had Trina on her podcast. And Trina has spoken her truth about her things. And so she just wants Ashley to do the same. Now, Ashley's sister, Lauren, passed away. And so this is the niece that Tracy was very, very close to. And Tracy took a hard time with that passing as well. But Tamar says she does not want to end any more family relationships in that situation. She wants the family to talk about their issues so that we can move past it, okay? So Tamar asks Ashley, what is your goal for this conversation? What exactly are you looking to resolve in this situation? And so Ashley said that she feels that, she didn't do this to harm the family. She feels that there are going to be a lot of people shocked about what she says. But how can she help others if she doesn't speak out for herself? If she doesn't put her information out on the internet, how could anybody else be helped? Okay. That's how Ashley sees it. And Tamar says that she wants Ashley to come to her podcast, be open and be honest, but understand also that everybody is not going to understand where you're coming from. Everybody is not going to agree with you. But I'm going to support you through this. Okay.
Me.
The same girl who went through what you did. I'm going to support you through this.
Because nobody supported me.
Because nobody supported her. Now, we had a little mix-in scene, so I'm going to throw these two together and then we can talk about it. Because Trina and Tawanda, they had a little meet-up down at Trina's house, okay?
Wait, save that because it's going to be too much for me. Save that. Let's do these first two scenes, okay? So the girls meeting for the lunch, the dinner, the whatever. Tamar came on ready, okay? And she wasn't about to let nobody punk her.
Testing 1, 2, 1, 2.
Okay. Including big sis Toni Braxton. Okay, she came on ready and she stood her ground. And I said, holla at Tamar. So she gets there, she was the last one to show up there. And everybody, they kind of was giving her the cold shoulder. They was giving her the ice out. She kissed I think it was Trina or Tawanda, one of them. She kissed Tawanda. Then she sat down, but everybody, you could feel the heat through the screen. And she was like, and Tawanda said, we was told you ain't want to film with us. She said, yeah, I didn't. Okay. She said, because y'all try to shut down my little project, my production. Y'all send me a cease and desist. Okay. And she turns to Toni. And Toni wanted to deflect. Toni, I saw right through you. You wanted to deflect. And you was like, I ain't never support you. No, Toni, let's talk about this cease and desist. Did you or did you not send it?
Because Trina said her name wasn't on it nowhere.
That Trina said her name wasn't on it. And so then Tamar said, you sent this cease and desist, and then you said we should bring Ashley on the show. And Toni said, well, your whole thing is a chicken circuit. I said, not you disrespecting your sister's podcast. Yo, that meeting was loaded. Even though they only showed us a snippet, Royaire, it was loaded and it had a lot going on. And Toni wanted to punch Tamar in the face because Tamar, for once in a long time, we getting reality on reality TV. Because Tamar came there with the truth and the facts. You sent me a cease and desist. And Toni, you wanted to save Ashley for the show because you wanted them ratings. And Toni was pissed because she told, I don't know if you know this, Royaire, she told Tamar, not here, not now. No, Tamar's like, no, here and now.
Here and now. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. So the scene was fire. And Tamar stood her ground. Okay. So then we go to Tamar and Ashley. You got to give this to Tamar. She full of drama. Okay. And I know that it's true that, family secrets are horrible. They do kill you. And nobody wants to address when there's incest in the family and someone's been touched. Everybody's supposed to pretend like it didn't happen. But meantime, the person it happened to, they're dying inside slowly. And then you come to the family and then nobody wants to help you or address you. Then they wondering why you always lashing out in other ways. So Tamar said, you know what? I ain't going to let Ashley drown. Nobody wants to address her, believe her. I'm going to give her the platform in a moment to do that. So much so that she done got this girl a plane ticket from Spain out to where she was. Okay. Then she's sitting there, they get their drinks. They, is she loving her drinks or whatever the case may be? And they discussed but didn't discuss what happened to Lauren, the sister. They called her Lola, and she lost her life at 24. That's young.
Very young.
Right? Yeah, Tamar Drama Braxton. That's a good name for her. But you know what, though? This particular drama, I understand why she's bringing it to the forefront, because too many peoples go through this, Royaire, in the family where somebody was touched. We know Uncle so-and-so did it, and nobody's saying nothing.
Yeah.
And then nobody don't get the person that it happened to, at least try to get them some help. It's the worst kept secret in the family.
It is.
That scares the family apart. Now, do I think that they had to go about it this way to heal? I don't. But once you open Pandora's box, because remember, Ashley did like 3 TikTok or 4 TikToks. Remember, she did a whole TikTok story about this. Do I think that was necessarily the right way to do it? Well, no. No, but she did it. So Tamar called up and said, "You're going to be doing it, then come do it on my podcast. Let me get this money."
Yeah.
And she might as well, all right. I don't know. It's already out there. So Ashley, says she haven't really been back. She loves it in Spain. She's doing commercials. She's acting. She's working. It's all good. She don't ever plan to come back. And she said once her sister died, she knew she had no choice but to save self. So it was mission, save myself. And that's why she let her truth out and, let it be what it was. Okay. And Ashley feels that when she goes to talk on the podcast, it's going to be a surprise to many. And I'm like, girl, what else can you tell us that we ain't already find out? This is going to be terrible. This is going to be a lot.
I mean, the only other thing that she could tell us would be a name, because that's the only thing that she has not verbatim given us flat out.
Right. And so Tamar said she just giving her niece a voice, and she let her know, listen, be prepared, because strangers ain't going to be able to understand. And she said, that Tamar said her family didn't handle it well, but she giving her niece the opportunity to tell her story. That's all I got. It was 2 very good scenes.
Yeah, it was interesting scenes. So that beginning scene, and thank you for being a little bit more elaborate on that beginning scene. I struggle with watching Tamar and her niece have this conversation surrounding the situation at hand. Because of how Tamar has been presented to us so many times, I struggle with her reasoning of giving Ashley this platform to have this conversation instead of giving Ashley the family platform, maybe, if that makes sense. I would have preferred, in my opinion, for if we're going to have this conversation, let's reach out to the family first and sit down as a family before we just put this out on the podcast for the world to hear. Is that too much to ask?
Well, no, I feel where you're coming from, but the only reason why I said, because Ashley had already put it out on the TikTok. And remember, it blew up when Ashley did those 2, 3, 4 part, 5 part, 7 part series on the TikTok. So if it wasn't already out there in the streets, I could see, let's take this behind the scenes. Hey, AT2, thanks for stopping by. I could see if it wasn't already out there on the streets. But being that it was already on the streets, it was street business already. So Tamar didn't go dig her up out of nowhere. Ashley put it in the streets, and other people was reaching out to Ashley to interview her. So why not go with your own auntie?
I disagree. I feel like that's an immature way of handling it. Even if it was out there in the streets already, let's still address this as a family so that we could work this out before we hit the streets and just start saying whatever we gonna say. That's just how I would think. If this was my nephew or my niece and something happened to them in my family and we're famous, okay, girl, TikTok may have not been the best place to handle this. Let's have the conversation as a family. And then if the family can't receive what we're saying, then hey, all bets are off because I've tried to address it with the people that it matters to. That's how I was looking at the situation. Could be wrong, but that's just how I seen it.
Well, I will say when we go to the Trina and Tawanda talk, I felt what they were saying too. But
are you flying somebody into the States, Diva? To have a conversation about them and your family, and I just don't see the positive intention in what Tamar is doing.
Right, I think part of Tamar's interaction or whatever, right, is the fact that she been through it and she went to her family and her family didn't help her, right? So I think that she was coming to Ashley in good intentions in terms of you know what? I went to my family. My family didn't help me when it happened to me. So I know what you feeling, girlfriend. And because I'm sure when Ashley put out her little 7-part series, yeah, the family was talking about it. Okay. So I get it. I would have definitely too. I would have I understand I understand what you're saying, but I also understand how Tamar ended up, you know, doing it the way that she did. Now, was part of it self-gain? Yeah, this whole everything in these streets is about the funds. It's about the economics, right? So, but I would have felt a different type of way if Tamar was introducing this situation to the world for the first time. As she put it out there, and Tamar just picked it up.
Okay.
So that's why I'm not that, you know, upset with her.
Okay. We'll see how I feel as the season continues to roll on. You know, I'm very much a person that I base things off of history. Okay.
Right.
And history has shown that Tamar does things for attention and to be messy, as Iyanla told us. You're like a child jumping for attention. But this could be a new leaf. And so I'm going to be open-minded to see where Tamar leads us.
Sounds good. Sounds good. The door is open.
The door is open. The door is open for her to walk through.
Open. Okay, I can get with that. I'm
yes. Alrighty. So we can agree there. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. But yes, y'all, thank you for joining us. Make sure you're hitting the like button on both Royaire's World and Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. If you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe to our channel. And we appreciate y'all for joining us. Please leave your thoughts and opinions down below. So we go into this scene with Trina and Tawanda, okay? And so Trina, she has got, do you have this ninja mixing slushy thing?
I do not, but you know, and I entertain at my house. But you know, I'm not a drinker.
Okay. Well, so, I mean, it doesn't have to be used. I know a lot of people that use it for their kids to make slushies and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't have to be alcoholic, but I know a lot of adults use it for that. But
I like this, though.
I do too. I was like, let me ask if Diva got one of these and see what the talk is about. But so Trina has this new machine, the Ninja mixing machine, whatever it is. And so, you know, this is her first time using it. Of course, she didn't read the directions, so she don't know what she's doing, people, okay? Tawanda has come over, and so Tawanda's engaged, everyone, okay? She is.
Yeah, I'm like, are we going to have to hear this the whole season?
So this was a part of the ending of season 2. The ending of season 2, we were at the Laugh Love tour. And so Tawanda, you know, was on stage with her sister. And so they, you know, had Sean come up and he proposed. And so now she is engaged to be married. Okay. So it is all about, you know, yes, congratulations. Oh, don't do that because we want to be married one day too. So congratulations.
All right. I'm sorry. Congrats.
Look, Diva.
No, please. Congrats, girl. Oh my God.
Oh my God. So she's super excited. Everything is about Tawanda, this ring and this wedding, okay? So while they're waiting on their slushy drink to be made and things to get ready, Tawanda wants to address how Trina is feeling about this whole situation with the TikTok video, Ashley coming out, and sharing her story on the platform instead of coming to Trina personally, okay? And so Trina feels that, sometimes people take an opportunity thinking that it will help them, but not thinking about how it could hurt other people. And so, Trina always comes from a mindset of, how can I help without hurting others? And so she just wishes that maybe that could have been the situation of how it was brought to her. But unfortunately, that ain't how it rolled out. Trina is not trying to dismiss Ashley's feelings. She's not trying to dismiss what happened to Ashley. But she said, I have not changed my phone number. I still live in the States. Nothing has changed. So if you wanted to address maybe something that I did not acknowledge years ago when it happened, why didn't you call me? Why didn't you reach out? Why was social media the first place for you to go to? Tawanda wants Trina to be able to be open and honest about her feelings, because as Trina was talking about this, Trina got very emotional. And so Trina feels that she has the toe tag of hiding her emotions from people and hiding how she truly feels. And Tawanda wants Trina to be open about that, because you can't hold those feelings. You can't hold those emotions and not let people know how you feel. And so Tawanda was glad that Trina opened up and shared how she's navigating through this new challenge, and it's been a lot on Trina these last couple of years. It is alleged that Trina's ex-husband was possibly the person that did this to Ashley. And so, as we all know, they've been divorced twice. After that second divorce, Gabe passed away, unfortunately, due to health concerns. Then she had to deal with Tracy's sickness and Tracy passing away, her depression. I mean, it's been a lot on Trina these past couple of years. So now throwing this on top of everything that she's been going through, it has put a big burden on her. But, she's working through it. She talked through it, and hopefully the family can get some kind of resolve out of all of this mess. So we can address this real quick if you'd like.
Yeah, Felicia, hey, thank you for being here. And Felicia, on that note, I'ma say I totally agree with you, right? As an aunt, I'ma tell my niece, well, you should have reached out to me, this, that, and the other, so forth and so on. So back when it allegedly happened, Trina was made aware, right? And sometimes I will say this, you can't, how many times can you apologize to? And maybe Trina did apologize to her and said, sorry, I handled it wrong at that time. How many times can you apologize to somebody, right? But the conversation between Trina and Tawanda was interesting. I did enjoy it, because they actually had a heartfelt conversation. And I think when situations happen, Royaire, you can understand both sides, right? Yes. And you can agree with this person and that person, and not being phony. You could just understand both perspectives of both sides, right? So as an adult now, for Ashley, I do think, maybe you could have sent your auntie a telegram, a message, a side note saying, you know what, I'm still mad about what happened. I said it happened with your husband at the time. And, I'm still feeling some type of way about it. I'm still trying to heal, and give her the opportunity to re-understand. And that's where I will connect on what you said earlier, right? But the reason why I wasn't mad at Tamar is because Tamar didn't just pull this out of Ashley. Ashley put it out there in the streets, right? So when they were talking, and, Tawanda and Trina, and they pretty much said that, Trina was saying that I wish we could have handled this behind the scenes as a family. Because one thing I do agree on, once it's in the social media streets, it gets nasty. And so many people were coming to Trina's comments and calling her a monster, saying all kind of stuff about Gabe, saying stuff about her. And no matter what, when we're on the outside looking in, we will never ever completely know the whole story. We're not. Right? Only the people involved know the story, and sometimes even all the people involved don't know the whole story. There's been situations that went on with me, and the people mad. I'm like, I don't even know what happened. I don't know the whole story. They're not saying anything. So I do understand that once the family, like once the media gets involved, it just goes left from there. And do I think it was fair that the people was coming and Trina's comments saying all kinds of stuff out about her? I think it's just a lot, right? Yeah. It's just a lot. And you got to understand, they dealt with a lot of death to deal with, period, is a lot. The person could be 100 and you still will be emotional over their death, right? Yeah. So you got your sister that died, you got a niece that died, you got an ex-husband that died, and it's like, whoa. And then now the man that is no longer here, that can't say left or right about what happened or didn't happen, he's being accused of doing something to Denise, right? And so I would just say in general that this is unfortunately not uncommon in families where you have some men, you know, just doing and taking advantage of, you know, the nieces or the nephews or someone in the family, right? And it, the person it happens to, it's hard for them to speak up, because now it's going to be some disruption in the family if you say Uncle so-and-so was touching you. It's a lot. So the conversation, I did feel for Trina. It was heartfelt, and I understand Trina's side, but I also understand Ashley's side. So, and I also understand Tamar's side. So Tamar, as a victim of the same thing, of nobody, you know, kind of believing her or acknowledging what happened to her, she's like, I see my niece going through this. I'm gonna help my niece, because I'll be darned if my niece go through what I went through. I'm gonna give her the space and the platform to say what she gotta say. And then, but I see Trina, it's like, that was my husband. I didn't personally do it to her, and I feel for her, but I just wish that we could have handled this as a family behind the scenes. So and then what else I got from that conversation is Tawanda's engaged.
Tawanda is engaged. Yes. Wow. I totally get it from everybody's perspective, just as you said. I think that because this is not because Trina is not the individual that did it, and this individual is no longer here, unfortunately, but and I'm saying things to be careful, because I really do care for everybody's feelings. So let me address that as I speak. But I feel that Trina is having to take accountability for something that she did not do herself, if that makes sense.
No, it does. It does.
And in my opinion, Ashley does have to have, or I don't want to say she had, I would have, if I were Ashley, an extension, some grace, some kind of grace.
Yeah.
Some kind of grace, which is why I feel she should have addressed Trina. Even if you were going to put out this series, even after that, you should have still addressed your aunt, you know, to share how you feel, because you can never tell a victim when to get over it, when enough is enough, you know, because there are things that will go through life that will trigger them. And you don't know when that trigger will bring up certain memories and things. And so they still have to heal through that. And so I just really wish that, you know, her niece would have done a little bit more. I don't feel that Tawanda, in my opinion, based off of what was shown, showed enough grace on Ashley's side.
Right.
So I do wish that Tawanda would have showed a little bit more grace, and maybe she didn't and just didn't get aired. But I let's see, ever since
y'all be cutting up.
Come on, Scratchy. I forgot about Scratchy.
And you know what? Speaking of that, side note, I heard that they didn't want him on this season.
I heard that too.
Yeah, because they allegedly, I guess he got back in good graces with his father. And like, why wouldn't you want that? Yeah, I thought that you love Scratchy so much, but now he can't be on this season and get him a little check. Y'all, they just dirty. But you know what though? It was said that they always did Tracy dirty, and now hindsight, you doing her family dirty, just dirty. But yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, I heard that too. Very, very unfortunate. But yeah, I do wish that Tawanda would have had a little bit more grace for that situation in Ashley's case. And yeah, but I'm glad that Trina is addressing her feelings. I'm glad that she's talking about it, because even in her confessional, she said we're diving in a little bit deeper than what I would like to. But I mean, in order to heal, you got to deal.
You better.
You
better say that. You better say that. Yeah. You do.
What's the people saying, Diva? Can you pull up a few comments? My mouth.
Yeah. Tawanda mad because the dirty laundry is even dirtier. Yeah. Well, and allegedly Tawanda has some of that going on in her family, home life, whatever. Allegedly, it was Trina's recent live where I no longer understanding or being empathetic. The fact that she said Gabe is no longer here to tell his side of things, so it's unfair. What side is it? What a minor is? Yeah. No, I hear you, Lawson. So I haven't seen. I don't get to see a lot of these people lives because I be so busy. So unless like a shade room or something with it, then I'll back into it and go look at their whole thing. So I didn't even know that. Yeah.
And that goes into what I was saying. She's really having to take accountability for what he did,
Yeah. It is, this is one of those situations where silence will probably be golden. Because I think no matter what comes out of Trina's mouth, because this is a sensitive topic, it's just not going to sound right. And Lawson, I do agree with you that the adults are the problem in this situation. If you're an adult that touched the child allegedly, you're the problematic one, not the child. The child doesn't have to be the one to know how to navigate this, even when the child becomes an adult, because they said sometimes you get stuck at wherever age the trauma happened, you get stuck there. So this is just, I think all the way around, we probably all agree in one way or the other that everybody is not handling this thing right. And that after you tell your story, even if you go on Tamar's podcast, or you would have told it on the Braxtons TV show, I think no matter what, unless you have the proper therapist trying to sit there and help you sort through this thing, you just speaking about it, then after that you may get a temporary release, but after that, if you're still feeling that your Aunt Trina did not acknowledge it and did you dirty, you're still going to be stuck. It's sad.
It's sad. That, in my opinion, and this is just speaking for me, that's inner work that has to be done within Ashley. Because in all honesty, and this is not to diminish anyone or anybody's experience, but outside of a sorry, what more can Trina do in reality? It's not like she can go back and change it. It's not like she can fix. I mean, outside of an apology, what more can I do for you? There's nothing for you. There's nothing more I can do. Other than that, the work is upon you now.
I agree.
It just is what it is, unfortunately. But
you are making a really good point, Royaire. It's but so much she can do at this point, because the person who did this to you, again, true, is no longer here to even say yay, nay, or whatever. So no, I agree with you. This is just one of those situations where it's tough. It happens too much and too often. And listen, Royaire, I will say this, and I'm not saying that just because you have a child and then you break up with that child's father, you should stay single forever. I'm definitely not saying that, because the best example I could give that everybody might be able to relate to is what's her name? Sierra and Russell Wilson, like, you know what I'm saying? That's one of those good case scenarios. But when you are out here on these streets, just a regular average person, you have got to be so careful who you let into your home with your young children. And it could be boys or girls. Everybody want to say, watch the people around your girls. Don't watch the people around your kids, period. Whether it's a boy or a girl, because if this person doesn't even like you, they most certainly not going to like your kid, and they will do whatever. So I just say, like, if you are going to date, don't bring the people around your kids. Don't leave the kids with your kids with these people. You know, now if y'all moving forward and y'all going to get married, then you shake and move differently at that point. But before that, I would just say, Eric, just be careful. Just be careful. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
So we're gonna zoom through these 3 scenes because they was just little quick scenes. We have a scene with Tawanda. Tawanda has been acting. She's been in her acting bag. She's been on quite a few Lifetime movies, quite a few Tubi movies. You know, she's been out here doing her thing. So she is acting currently in a film right now. It's called Watch It. This movie will premiere on Prime, Tubi, Apple TV, some major networks. She is also not only just acting and starring, but she is in her directorial bag now, okay? So she's doing some directing, okay? She's been given the opportunity, which is a beautiful thing. So shout out to Tawanda doing her thing. You know, for a long time, she was Tony Braxton's assistant. For that time, she was going to acting school. She was working on her craft. I mean, Tawanda has really been one of those people that I have watched on television manifest what she wants, and it has come to pass. So it's beautiful to see those things happening for her. You know, she desired to be married again. That's happening. She wanted a wedding. That's happening. So this is a living testament that you can speak what you want, and it shall come to pass. So
amen.
Shout out to Tawanda in that scene. We then have a scene with Tamar. Tamar is preparing for a new tour with October London, which he is a really good artist. I don't know if you've ever heard of him before, but he was actually just on the Serenade tour with Maxwell and Jasmine Sullivan. Excellent performer, beautiful job, wonderful voice. So Tamar is preparing for this tour. Sorry, y'all. And so she's recently got a boob job, okay? And so she says she's got to even her body out because she ain't never had no butt before, okay? So she is going in to get a liquid Brazilian butt lift, okay, down in Atlanta. She comes into the office. She has her consultation. You know, the doctor says, come on, get undressed. We're going to get everything ready. These are the utensils we're going to be using. And so a part of the utensils were about 10 to 12 needles, probably the size of my remote, that will be going into Tamar to inject this liquid Brazilian butt lift that she's going to be receiving. Now, we all know, for those of us who've been watching, 28, Jesus Christ. So we all know, since we've been watching the Braxtons, that Tamar is the scariest person out of all the sisters. Unless you're at the Braxtons. And you know what? Unfortunately, since we're talking about it, let's just address it and put it out all on the table, okay? Because this happens in more families than it really should. This is something that's been going on for years, unfortunately, in so many families. And I'm going to say this. Unfortunately, because a lot of what we have created in society as I get older, what I realize is victims traumatizing new victims, people who were victims of something now traumatizing someone else because it's done to them, some knowingly and some unknowingly. Some people are victimized at such a young age that it's something that, this is okay because this happened to me. Unfortunately, sexual pleasure is something that is pleasurable to the body. And some people experience that at an early age. And for some people, it makes them promiscuous. And it makes them harm other people. And it's a very unfortunate situation. Not saying that this is that situation.
Right. No, I know what you're saying.
The trauma that we have created in the world has just really messed up everyone. It really, really has. And so it's an unfortunate problem. So Tamar, she goes to get, ready and everything. And she's scared, y'all. Scared to death. We know Tamar is the scariest sister of them all. She's in the bathroom telling her sister, get my assistant, get my purse, and let's get up out of here. Because I'm not doing these needles up in my butt, okay? So she runs out the office, runs to the car, and guess what the assistant forgets? Her purse. So she has to mosey on back in there and get these shots of her booty. So she gets shots of her booty. She's happy. She's glad, and that was pretty much that scene. And we'll talk about this real quick too as well. Mama Braxton and Trina have a little meet up. Okay. Trina is a real estate agent now. She's had multiple properties. And she says she's sick and tired of people making money off of selling what she owns. Why not keep the money in-house and do it myself? So she has her first listing that she is now selling. And so that's going pretty well. Trina, and Mama E are talking about Tawanda getting married. Tawanda is excited. She's happy. She's in love. The bride to be. She's headed down the aisle. And so, Trina says, Mama E, Mama, do you miss being married? And with a quickness, Mama E said, hell no. I don't miss being married. I don't miss owing nobody an explanation. I don't miss having to share any of my time with anybody else, okay? But for Tawanda, they're happy. They're excited. She's a Virgo. She overplans everything and responds on time. They're going to be heading down to Mexico, Tulum, Mexico, for Tawanda's bachelorette party. And so Trina is going to be helping to host that and put that together. But from the looks of the previews, looking like the Trina is going to be the only sister.
Oh my God.
To support Tawanda for the big day. So those were those three scenes, Diva. Anything that you would like to talk about in those three, do share.
Well, Tawanda, you know what? I'm glad that the ladies finally got it, that you need multiple streams of income. And that's for all of us, right? Because to survive in this world today, you can't just depend upon one stream. You need to do several things if you can, and keep trying to do several things until you can figure it out, right? So the fact that she's acting, she's directing, she's doing her thing, I'm happy for her, okay? She said, watch it, that show. They're doing part 2. Part 1 was already out. Now they got part 2. And Sister to Sister production company. And she said, like you said, it's going to be on Prime, Apple TV. I ain't mad at her. Do your thing. I'm here for the honest work of it all. So, I thought that was pretty cool. I like that. Tamar and this butt lift and these breast implants. I forgot what conversation I was talking about on my show one day on Royaire. It was a trending topics, but somebody said it, and I don't remember who made this quote. I want to say they said it was Malcolm X. Who taught you to hate yourself? Good gosh, who taught you to hate yourself? You're absolutely beautiful naturally. They was all the sisters, right? It looked like Tamar did something to her face. Now we know she did something to her boobs, and now we also know that she laid there and actually got this nonsense injected in her booty, which is insane. I honestly believe, now this is just a belief of mine, I don't mean I'm correct, that Tony's problems came from them implants. Listen, those implants, foreign objects in your body just happens to not like it. Your body is always going to fight a foreign object, right? I think that's part of Wendy Williams' problems. I think if she take them big boobs out, some of her, lymphedema and all this other stuff she got going on, I think it would simply go away. I really do. And I love Wendy. But I'm being so serious. I think a lot of these people, they got these problems because of all of this foreign stuff that they're injecting in their body, and their body simply just cannot take it. With the Botox, the implants, the this, the that, the whatever. I think it's just too much. I really do. So to lay there and get whatever it was she was getting, 28 shots up into her booty, I thought was insane, especially when you could go to the gym, do some squats, and you have the money and the resources and the means to find a chef so that you're always eating like the best stuff. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And get you a personal trainer and you do enough squats, that booty's gonna lift up. But I think it just injecting all of that stuff in your body. And I think that reality TV, they make it seem as if all of this surgery is just natural, it's all good to go, and it's no problems. And I think it's not. And I think just to flip, but we'll talk more about this, tomorrow when we do Potomac. I think Wendy too. Yeah, you're in debt. You want to go get the boobs, you got the liposuction, you got the booty, you got the this, you got the that. All of that stuff costs money. Okay, squats, not shots. Come on now. Okay, come on, Sheree, holla, squats and not shots. I mean, come on now. It's just insane. I thought it was too much. With Tamar, she know how to do reality TV too. So all the drama, I'm leaving. I don't want these shots. All those shots for me. I just think she's talking about this Tamar 2.0. I'm happy for her with her tour. I thought this BBL and these breast implants and all of that. And even I think she did something to her face. I think it's team too much. But you know what? More power to you. And at the end of the day, once you start doing these procedures, you got to keep them up. So you got to make sure you have the money to keep that thing up. I wish her well. I'm not really here for it, but it is what it is. Miss E and Trina. Well, Miss E, she is the problem. So the reason why these girls are so confused, jacked up or whatever, I think Miss E, and it happens to a lot of people sometimes, right? A lot of couples, the man leaves you, and there's a lot of women that just can't get over the fact that their baby daddy, their husband or whatever left them. And sometimes it's a case where they left them with all these kids. You have got to find a way to heal and understand that person left, but maybe God got somebody else out there for you. But you never want to get to the somebody else if you don't heal this over here. The man is long gone. He done have 3 other families after you, because it's Papa Jackson is remarried. I'm saying Jackson. What's his name? Papa Braxton. He remarried already. He moved on with his life.
The same woman he was cheating on you with. So.
That part. So, Boo, you have got to let this go and move on. Because 1 minute you was on the show last season, you was just on the show looking for dates. That you saying never ever. Come on, Mama Braxton. I mean, I need you to do better, because you're the monarch of the family, and I'm gonna need you to rise up to the occasion. Okay, rise up. Okay. So, but it was a good conversation. Trina doing real estate and everything. I'm happy for her, as long as they don't, because the Braxtons, I'm gonna say this as respectfully as it can. They love the bankruptcy court. So the fact that they are
I can't.
I'm just saying. So the fact that now they're trying to have multiple streams of income, I'm proud of them. I really am. Yeah.
Yes, we're glad that they're not out here frauding the streets like some other people.
Doing movies and not catching felonies. I cannot.
Okay, I know that's right. Yes, but overall, I thought the 3 scenes were great. Good conversations with all of the ladies. And like you said, it's been a great season, or a great episode so far. Yeah. So we are heading over into Toni Braxton update. Okay. Now, Diva. So I guess the Laugh and Love tour is still going on, from last year with her and Cedric the Entertainer. Really, really well. Now, I guess I'll go and look and see if there's still dates listed, since they're going into 2026. She's working on that. Toni, as we all know, she's used to being in the music industry, but she's looking for something that is going to satisfy that, itch a little bit more. She says she has not learned everything she needs to learn about music, but she does need to, have a new spark of life and energy in another place. And so that place has been the movie industry, the show industry, producing, casting, creating. And so, as we know, Toni has been on Broadway productions.
Uh-huh.
She's had a few TV movies as well. And so Toni said she wants to be behind the camera. She has a meeting. Her manager sets up a meeting with the TV producer. And so she wants to learn how to be able to pitch shows, how to create shows, how to write, and how to be more involved in the movie TV industry. She has some great ideas, some good show developments. Because, you know, men aren't the only people that pay alimony now. The women got to pay alimony. Toni had to pay some alimony to that ex-husband. Possibly still may be doing so. And so she wants to pitch this idea. And, you know, the meeting that she has, it seems to go a little well, I guess. I didn't take too much from the meeting. I really didn't learn much. I feel it
was nothing to learn.
Nothing to learn. I mean, what were we talking about? It just seemed like we needed an update from Toni, and this is what she decided to get us.
Ciao.
What we should have been updated on is that ring that allegedly went missing, and you had to file an insurance claim for. Was that insurance fraud? What we need to update is on you and Birdman. What's going on with y'all? Are you married or are you not? There was so many things for you to update us on, Toni. And this is what you decided to give us. The same dream that Tawanda has. And then in our last scene, we got Tamar. We got James. And we got Taz. Okay. And they're hosting their podcast, Love, Life, Beyond. Or Love, Life, Love, and Beyond. Excuse me. Love and Beyond. Season 2 of their podcast. So, you know, they come together because this friendship group, they have a lot of mental health conversations and a lot of conversations about being a better person. And so what better way to share those conversations than on a podcast with the world? And so, as we know, Ashley has a situation that she's addressing. And so Tamar has invited her down in front of the people of Atlanta to have a conversation about her story. We're in the back. We're taking shots. We're praying. And we're hoping that this is going to be a good conversation for everybody to have a positive change, according to Tamar. Well, they get up on the stage, and Tamar addresses the people. Hi, howdy, hello, welcome. We are here to have a tough conversation tonight. Okay? Now, let me say the family secrets are horrible. First. And in order to deal with those family secrets, you got to have the hard conversations that the family don't want to talk about. So nevertheless, let me introduce my niece, Miss Ashley Braxton, to the stage.
Don't we look alike?
Don't we look alike? We the girls. So Ashley, now please do tell your story. And that was the end of episode 1, season 2.
Woo! Well, let me go back to Toni Braxton. What a waste of a scene. She giving us the idea. One of her pitch was a show about alimony, because now the ladies have to pay alimony too. I was sitting there like, for real? Okay. So, and then, okay, well, that's true. They aren't giving us reality. They are. And then the show she pitched, and that manager, whoever she was, she knew that thing didn't make no sense. She pitched that she was going to be a man that was really a woman that was pretending to be a man. I was like, what kind of stupid?
What are we doing?
What are we doing? I was like, is Toni serious right now? She's going to pitch a story where she was a singer like Toni Braxton, but the people thought she was a man, but she was a woman pretending to be a man. It was stupid. And the woman sitting there, she was like, "Do you get it?" She's like, "Yeah, I do." That girl was lying. So if Tony is going to go this route, I'm going to need her to sit down and really think of some good storylines and some good things to produce and pitch. Because the alimony show, in this pretending to be a man, not a man, she was a man. It was stupid. Yeah, I was just like, I cannot. Now, them closing out with the Life, Love, and Beyond podcast. When did her and James make up? Because then they haven't fallen out.
I thought so too. But you know, this is last year, so this was filmed. So this could be maybe before they're falling out. Maybe.
Okay, maybe so. Maybe so.
Because I haven't seen no season 2 of her podcast. I haven't seen them drop any episodes or anything. I haven't seen her and Taz together or any of that.
Maybe they was holding the episode until they showed it on the show. Maybe so that it wouldn't be.
I haven't seen anything in season 2, nothing at all. No interviews.
Well, I haven't either.
I watched that first season she did.
Was it good? Child, I can't fool with you. Okay, all right. Listen, Life, Love, and Beyond. I gotta let that grow on me. Life, Love, and Beyond. I'm gonna let it grow on me.
It's giving Bed Bath and Beyond. I wasn't feeling it at all.
All right. It's giving Bed Bath and Beyond. Okay, listen. You know she's drama and dramatic. I didn't like the set. Yeah, the set was reminding me of, I think, that YouTube show with the blue couch or something like that. I didn't like the set. Her outfit, and she had a whole stylist there. I wasn't really into the outfit. Who was the other woman that was sitting next to her? Was that supposed to be a therapist?
That's Taz.
Who's Taz?
Taz, I want to say she came last season. She's a therapist.
Oh,
a healer, rather. Excuse me.
I'm remembering Taz now. Okay. Well, listen. What I did like though was Ashley's introduction, and once Ashley hit the stage, it was very dramatic in typical Tamar, and I was here for it. That's all I could say. I was here for it.
I'm gonna say this,
but go ahead, yes, and I'll be right back. Give me a minute.
Okay. You know, like I said, with Tony, you know, Tony was, like, as Diva said, a waste of a scene. I do know that Tony has been in movies and, you know, done Broadway and all of those things, but I was just like, Tony, like, girl, we have so many other things that we can address and talk about with you. Your sons have graduated college. You know, one is an actor, or excuse me, one is a model, and I believe one is still in school, actually. But there were so many things that we could have got updated on Tony. You're supposed to be engaged or married or whatever you are to Birdman. Where was that storyline at? There are many, many things that Tony could have shared with us, and she did not. So I'm really starting to question, you know, and I really kind of always have questioned Tony's purpose on the show. I originally understand because she was the famous sister. That's why she was here. But Tony, you ain't giving us nothing. Tamar. I really was looking forward to see what Tamar was going to present to us in regards of this podcast, how the conversation would be brought about, you know, the setting of the conversation. I was just really kind of excited to see how that was going down. Now, we're here to have a conversation about someone who was unfortunately sexually abused, allegedly, and who is struggling emotionally and mentally with this situation. As a host of an event for mental, because that's what your podcast is about, mental health, to come and to be taking shots before the show to go help people. I'm very confused about the situation, because as we all know, we've been watching reality TV for a while, and alcohol does nothing but amp up the situation and put words in our mouths that sometimes we mean that don't need to be said out loud. But you're coming to us to share health, mental solutions, and you drinking with James and Taz.
But they said a prayer.
But we said a prayer to hopefully help somebody. I just the way all of this was presented, it's giving messy. It's giving I brought my niece to share her story, and I'm going to ship her back to Spain to send her on her way. And I just needed a moment for the season, because I don't want to talk about what's really going on with me as Tony. I just wasn't feeling it even. I was not feeling it.
Yeah.
I was not feeling it.
It was a good opening episode, though.
It was a great opening episode, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really, really good. I'm glad that the girls are back. I'm glad to, see that there is still some kind of sisterhood attached to them. As always, Trina and Tawanda have been very, very close. Now what I am disappointed about, and we just catch these in the little snippets, very disappointed in Tony, especially the way Tawanda has always been so supportive of her, assisting her when she was her assistant, being there for Tony anytime she needs it, when she was sick, when she needed help with the kids, everything. This one moment in time that Tawanda is making something about herself, nobody's there to support her except for Trina.
Oh, you talking about the upcoming episode?
Because we see that previewed and throughout this episode.
Yeah. Well, we have seen we have seen Tony be selfish. We have seen Tony be selfish. Now Tamar is a lot of things. Sober is not one of them. Yeah, we've seen Tony be selfish. I feel like Tony was always all about her. But we didn't get to see Tony's side until the Braxtons had their show the first time.
Yes.
And we saw how, what's the name that passed?
Tracy.
Tracy. We saw that Tracy was always an outcast. So we got an insight into what things is like in the Braxtons world.
Yeah.
So very sad, but not foreign to us, so to speak. And it's just sad is all I can say. It's sad.
Yeah. Overall, I thought this was a great episode. I really enjoyed it. It's good to see the sisters back. Like I said, the new information that is being brought to us, I'm curious to see how this is going to roll out through the season and how they're going to navigate through this. Like we said, we've seen this opening dinner, and it's looking like that Tony had a lot more to do with things than what she's letting on to be.
That part.
So leave your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. We appreciate all of you for joining us. On a scale of 1 to 10 for season 2, episode 1, leave your ratings down below. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What are you rating episode 1, season 2 of the Braxtons? I'm going to give it a 9. I'm going to give it a 9. I really enjoyed it. It was beautiful seeing the girls coming back. They look good. They're doing very well from what we can see. And I'm excited to dive into the new stories of what they got going on. I've seen a clip earlier this week of Vaughn and Trina having some issues with dieting and trying to get on a healthy space. And sometimes I'm curious to see what Vaughn and Trina got going on, because they are a very interesting couple. Very interesting.
They are, and she said that when her and Trina had when Trina and Tawana had to talk, she was like, she said, I got a good husband now, and I said,
She didn't say that. I forgot.
He's a good man, Savannah. Listen, I was like, he's interesting, but you know what? If that's your husband, we're gonna deal with him, whatever. So like you said, we'll see. Felicia gave it a solid 9, and you know what? I'm giving it a 9 too. I think it was an excellent opening out the gate episode. I like the way they started us off with that little luncheon or dinner with the girls. Okay. And Tony getting up like she gonna flip a table and punch somebody in the face.
Look, it was giving K. Michelle. Woo! She's shaking the table.
Okay. So I was here for it 100%. I liked it. Definitely give it a 9. And I can't wait to see where the rest of this season is gonna go.
Raheem said an 8. I'm taking a point off every week. They disappoint Tracy.
Well, listen, and then there's that. Hey, okay.
Well, there you go. Well, listen, we appreciate each and every one of y'all for joining us this evening for our recap of the Braxtons season 2. We will be back next week for episode 2, which, bring it on, Braxtons, because I'm ready. I am ready. Make sure you hit the like button on both channels. Shout out to the Rewatch crew. We appreciate you. And if you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe to Chronicles of the Gray-Haired Diva and Royaire's World. Tomorrow night, we will be recapping season 10, episode 2 of The Real Housewives of Potomac. But before we do our recap, we will be addressing Whitney Osefa and Happy Eddie Osefa. Okay, it seems that the drug money has caught up to him with federal charges. Okay, they said sis was wearing the ring 7 days after she reported it stolen.
Oh my God,
this is a hot mess, y'all.
That's you. That's just stupid on top of stupid.
Emails. We're not even gonna go into it. We're gonna address it tomorrow.
All right, we'll address it tomorrow.
Anything else before we go?
No, I mean, like I said, I wasn't disappointed. I was engaged the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Sometimes you be sitting there like, all right, when is this?
Next.
No, the whole time I was engaged. I liked it.
Because let me tell you, I will fast forward through an episode.
Yeah.
If I don't like a scene, I will fast forward through it.
I hear you, but you know what? It really was. It was all that. It was good.
All righty. Well, listen, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. And we will see y'all tomorrow evening. Because I'm engaged.
But no, I think Magical Mermaid is talking about Wendy having on the ring that was stolen.
Yes. Whew, hot mess. Hot mess.
But yes.
Well, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to both channels. And we will catch y'all tomorrow for our recap of The Real Housewives of Potomac. Good night and goodbye, everybody. What's up, beautiful people? We are back and we are recapping season 10 of The Real Housewives of Potomac. Well, this season, Kiera and Wendy are having a little disagreement with Wendy's dismissive behavior, which she's been accused of many a times. Guess who's back? Monique Samuels, and Giselle says she was happy to reconnect with Monique and see if she's still the same person. And of course, the queen herself, the Grand Dame, has finally been released from jail and will have her season 10 premiere on The Real Housewives of Potomac. So listen, join me and Chronicles of the Gray-Haired Diva as we recap this season of The Real Housewives of Potomac. And it's all in good fun, so make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to both channels. See y'all soon.
You just gotta...
Royaire's World.